Good day, panelists. Our study is entitled Impact of Small and Medium Enterprises, Key Imperatives on Their Work Productivity During COVID-19 Pandemic. The researchers are Windilyn Butra, Angel May de la Cruz, Angel May Magsalay, Nicole Morissette Sige, and Jacqueline Rose Suniel.
The novel coronavirus is a new strain of coronavirus that has not previously been identified in humans and was originated in Wuhan, China. The COVID-19 outbreak and the lockdowns have cast a heavy toll on SMEs, including Cagayan de Oro City, affected by logistics block, labor shortages, and demand drop. 80% of SMEs temporarily closed in February 2020 at the time of the first wave of interviews. Small and medium enterprises are businesses which are non-subsidiary, which means fewer employee numbers. In the Philippines, if it has 10 to 199 employees and/or an asset not exceeding 100 million, an enterprise is considered to be non-subsidiary. The theories that the researchers use are the following. Attribution theory. The theory holds that when the public blames them for a crisis, organizations suffer legitimacy and business harm. Cognitive theory. The creation of products and services that conform to or leverage theoretical views of human cognition. Crisis management literature. This focuses on the use of effective and contrasting communication of consistent data and mutual interest. Situational crisis communication. Recommending that organizations adapt crisis communication to the potential of a crisis to damage the reputation of the company. The independent variable of these studies are the key imperatives of small and medium enterprises, which includes the low income, customer spending behavior, price point, workload, workforce, and inventories. And the dependent variable is the small and medium enterprises' work productivity. Statement of the problem. What is the profile of the respondents with regards to their age, gender, and types of business? Number 2. How do the participants rate the level effects of COVID-19 pandemic to their business in terms of low income, customer spending behavior, price point, workload, workforce, and inventories? Number 3. How do the small and medium enterprises evaluate their work productivity during the COVID-19 pandemic? Number 4. Is there a significant relationship between the key imperative and work productivity of small and medium enterprise to their business?
Hypothesis: there is no significant relationship between key imperative and work productivity of small and medium enterprises to their business.
Research methodology. Research design. The research proposal will use a quantitative approach and survey from the Google form is used to gather information. Research setting. The study will be conducted online through the use of Google Forms that will be distributed to the participants within the vicinity of Cagayan de Oro City. Respondents and sampling procedure. The researchers' respondents are small and medium enterprise owners that are 18 years old and above in Cagayan de Oro City. A maximum of 41 owners randomly selected using random sampling. Research instrument. The researchers will use Google Forms, a survey administration software that is covered in the Google Docs editor software suite along with the Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides.
The scoring scale used in the study for the interpretation of data gathered are the following. With a score of 1 from the scale of 1 to 1.49 with a verbal description of strongly agree. With a score of 2 from the scale of 1.50 to 2.49 with a verbal description of disagree. With a score of 3 from the scale of 2.50 to 3.49 with a verbal description of neutral. With a score of 4 from the scale of 3.50 to 4.49 with a verbal description of agree. with a score of 5 from the scale of 4.50 to 5 with a verbal description of strongly agree.
Validity and reliability of instruments. The questionnaire is designed for the validation of process on the accuracy of the instrument. The pilot testing is important for the quality and efficiency of the main study. The Cronbach alpha coefficient will be used to measure the scale reliability of the instrument and how closely related a set of items are as a group. Research protocol. The goals of the study is to determine the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. To determine the coping strategies used by SMEs during this time of pandemic, enable for them to still operate and to determine if there is a significant relationship between key imperative and work productivity of small and medium enterprise to their business. The procedures of gathering data are the following. Participation is voluntary for the respondents in answering the research survey. Thus, participants have the right to withdraw his or her participation in the study anytime if they wish to do so. Before conducting the survey, research will send participants information consent explaining the purpose of the study. The researchers avoid using offensive, discriminatory, or any other unacceptable word in formulating the questionnaire. Information consent and so on to avoid miscommunication and conflict. Researchers assure the participants about full disclosure thereof. Thus, privacy and anonymity of participants is important. Researchers acknowledge the works of other authors used in any part of the dissertation with the use of APA referencing system. Statistical treatment and analysis. Problem number 1. The frequency counts in percentage will be used to determine the level of effects of COVID-19 pandemic to their business that contains the type of business. Average monthly income of the business in the years that the business runs. Problem number 2. The mean and standard deviation will be used to determine the participants' rate, the level of effects of COVID-19 pandemic to their business in terms of low income, customer spending behavior, product or services price point, workload, workforce, and inventories. Problem number 3. The frequency counts percentage will be used to determine the level of how the small and medium enterprises evaluate their work productivity during COVID-19 pandemic. Number 4. Correlation will be used to measure the significant relationship between the key imperative and the work productivity of small and medium enterprise to their business.